Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Bruce Swartz. I started an astronomy channel. Then I started studying in ufology because I was capturing a lot of unidentified aerial phenomena in the sky. Is the proper term now, right? Everyone's going to start using it like it was something that everyone used before. Some did, but in general, everyone calls them UFOs. But there's many different types of them, and that's what I'm starting to understand. Chemtrails, only 8 o'clock, maybe 8:09 at night, p.m., and that's why you see the light in the background. But I just wanted to show you the clouds, the chemtrails once again. It would seem that they're going to be chemtrailing more this year than they were last year, because so far I'm seeing a lot, and I'm seeing a lot of it at night. And of course, the moon, when it comes back, well, that's when they start chemtrailing again. But this over the sun, is this already the chalk from Bill Gates? I don't think so. You just saw a UFO on the right. You just saw a UFO on the left. So look at the different sizes and shapes of these UFOs. This one looks like a round ball of light, right? But I'll show you a bit further down here in the video. I captured one that actually looks like debris. It looks like it's just spiraling around and, lost in space. So this is the day before yesterday. There was, once again, some activity in the sky. So definitely they are back, and we're waiting for a disclosure. Very odd that they didn't mention disclosure yet. What do you think of that? You want to see that one close up? Well, first, look at this one. Smaller, or it's the distance, right? It could be just quite simply further away. But looking at it really close up, it's a ball of light that you cannot seem to enter, no matter how much you dim the exposure. There's just no way of being able to see and detect it. Get one more shot of it here as it's going by a bit further, and you can see the stars in the background to give you an idea of how big it is in the sky. And with the naked eye, they're as big as stars, by the way. Do you know that? What I'm showing you, with the naked eye, we don't see it like that. Like, imagine this. With the naked eye, it's even smaller. But look how small, or again, distance-wise, how far away this one is. So these are only a few captures. We're going to get into something very interesting. We're going to talk about Andrew Basiago. We're going to talk about teleportation and a whole bunch of things. Now, here's that object that I got going by really slow. And of course, this is real time. You can see the oscillation of the lights in the background, and everything's billowing as normal speed. But this object going very, very slowly. Now, as comparison to the characteristics of the UFO, unidentified aerial phenomena, that I showed you at the beginning of the video, it was a perfect ball of light, what it seems like. So let's do a little zoom up, a big zoom up, as much as we can without pixelating the image, digital zoom, to go and see exactly if it's just like the one that we just saw. This one does look like debris. You're going to see it as we zoom up right here. It's more spiraling around. It's right there in the center. It is so not going fast. It looks like it's turning or spiraling out of control. Of course, in a straight line, but like totally out of control. It could be a UFO craft, but I wouldn't even lean on this one being it. But like I said, the interesting thing, it's slower than the usual satellites, and at the same time, it does look like it seems to be spiraling around. I am using the laser, doing some tests, being careful, of course, not to get any planes. It's a strong laser, and I'm doing some tests at the same time to see if I get any responses from them. Right, let's talk about something really interesting. For a long time, I've been talking to you about teleportation and how I tend to feel that my research mixes into this whole teleportation portal idea. Let's go talk about someone very interesting that the world's finding out about, Andrew Basiago. Recently, Andrew Basiago is a name that has come up, surfaced in the UFO community, of course. Andrew Basiago has gone public about his abduction, apparently, an experience under a U.S. program called Project Pegasus. Basiago runs a campaign of the same name, actually, Project Pegasus, to make public awareness of the United States accomplishments in teleportation and time travel, with the ultimate intent for disclosure. Possibly this is what they're trying to bring out, talking about DARPA, teleportation, and time travel. Project Pegasus. It's been around a while, but not necessarily a lot of lingering mention on this certain project. But now after Andrew Basiago has come out, he claims that he was abducted for the program as a child to be groomed or trained in performing teleportation jumps. Very interesting. It just brings an extra interest and attention to my research, for me anyways. So he says he was teleported to what is known as the planet Mars, is one of the areas that he was teleported to, or maybe just that area, I don't know yet. Basiago says that the US government has been keeping secrets about Mars for the past 50 years. Some of those secrets include lost civilizations and life on Mars. According to Andrew Basiago, the secret to teleportation lies in Nikola Tesla's research. That's where we're at. Basiago uses the terms Tesla teleportation or Vorta teleportation to identify the type of teleportation that the government uses. Oh, that very interesting. It tells us also that there are different types of teleportation, right? Like if you're teleporting to another galaxy or if you're teleporting around the planet, it's not necessarily a time machine, but more of a time device where two different areas would have possibly the constructed device. That's just me, but extremely interesting. Supposedly, he says, teleportation and time travel are possible by means of radiant energy. That is something Tesla, really discovered, actually. Tesla believed in the 19th century that an all-pervasive ether transmits electrical energy. If this theory is true, the same ether could possibly transmit radiant energy. Wow, this is pretty complex. So Andrew Basiago enjoyed a successful career, they say, as a journalist and lawyer until sometime in 2008, when he started submitting academic papers to the National Geographic Society about aliens. Always did wonder about them. About aliens, buildings, forests, and animals that he was seeing in blurry Mars rover photographs. My gosh, I should have connected with this guy. Oddly, they declined to publish his papers. Well, that's giving me a heads up about my work, due to the technically that these things existed only in his mind. His participation in DARPA experiments, he began telling the story that he had been a child participant in a top-secret DARPA program experimenting with time travel and teleportation in the early 1970s, when I was born. These technologies were, of course, invented by none other than Nikola Tesla. Basiago claims to have traveled 1 million years into the past, as well as having been present at Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. Wow. And having visited 2045, the year. He revealed all this in numerous interviews with Coast to Coast AM. His travel to Mars, he claims to have teleported to Mars in the 1980s as an Earth ambassador to the Martian civilization. Well, a lot of talk about Mars being the center of attention. What about the moon? There's things propelling themselves on the moon. You see the fire behind them. Those are UFOs. They look like they have a propellant. They do. I confirm it. You can see fire or smoke coming out of the back of them. They're very, very hard to see. They're mixed inside of the hazes, and of course, a simple exposure adjustment, you're able to go and find these little critters. I always say little critters. In reality, they're pretty damn big if we're seeing them. That's for sure. No, it's not something that's between Earth and the moon. It's something right over the atmosphere of the moon, close, pressed up to the surface. Hey, for all we know, it could be even something driving around the surface on the moon, but it does seem to me that the object was flying. So if you have structures on the surface of the moon, Andrew Basiago said that when he was teleported to Mars, he appeared in an underground ancient city where he could see all the teleportation device that was assembled. Think of it. It makes sense. So as like in Family Guy, where people imagine time travel being just a pod that travels around, or like back in the days, a telephone booth. In reality, it's not that way. There would be more like a Stargate. You'd have an object on Earth and you'd have an object on the moon where they could teleport themselves. I imagine that's just me, because of course teleportation supposedly doesn't exist now, does it? Or does it? I think finally, possibly it could be coming out. You're seeing a propellant behind some of the objects, and it's just a light, and the light isn't gliding across the surface. It seems to be teleporting itself across the surface. And I've been saying this a while back. You all know that, those of you following me, far before anyone was talking about any Andrew Basiago or anything at all there. So say to yourself, if there's a smoke appearing after this light changes positions, well, I don't know what we're looking at. And I've said it often in the past, maybe this is another technology that we are, discovering. I do believe DARPA experiments will be a secret. Whether they're going to talk about that in disclosure or not, I don't know. But I do know for a fact Andrew and many other people are trying to get this teleportation info out. Now, red flag, not red flag, we always have to take everything into consideration. Andrew, I don't know him, but it doesn't matter. I'm still going to share what he said and listen to some of the things he's saying. But look at this, guys. This is on the moon. So the big hype is talking about what's going on Mars. I really think that they may possibly keep the moon hidden, when in reality, it could be the source of everything. There could be a portal or a time machine or something on Earth. I've changed my beliefs so many times doing this work and study. I don't even know if the Earth is rotating anymore. I tell people it is because that's the information that everyone wants to hear, right? I guess it's online. But in reality, my interpretation or my own feelings, I don't know. Whether it's flat or not, I don't care. We're still stuck on it, right? It could be that Earth and the moon are traveling through space and are not rotating, theoretically, when you use your eyes and common sense. Have you ever seen the moon turning? I haven't. When you talk about different theories, some people get disturbed. And I mean disturbed. Look at that channel, Flat Earth Lunacy, that went to court, which is now really ace of space astrophotography. They're like hiding in other little sites when they do big damage. This is daytime anomalies in the sky. Very rare captures that I was able to capture here a couple of years ago. But now let's talk about, right before we end the video, and there'll be plenty of more videos like this, there's structures there. Look on the bottom right there in the circle. You see how there's a line that goes inside of the ground and all those connections near the crater? So we can say they're ancient. Sure, we can say they're recent. Either way, what's interesting me is that they are there, and that there's connection over connection. Think of it. Seriously, just that is proof in itself that maybe someone at one point in time was up there. Look at these structures here. This is Copernicus crater. I wanted to see what the surface level of the moon looked like, and that's exactly what it looks like. Very uneven surface, but it could be more flat than we think, and all those objects could be actually constructed when you think of it. Nikola Tesla's ideas, Andrew Basiago.
Party all night long. Aliens on the moon, they must be mining.
And teleporting, of course.
Up there sitting down in that pontoon. They drop everybody off in their belly party. They coming here so soon. Yeah, aliens up there on the moon. They may be even coming right here soon. Aliens are mining on the moon. Yes, they are up there. Doesn't matter, cause disclosure's coming soon. Disclosure's coming soon.